fields of science on the Earth's plane are all beginning to explore the New Age concepts, the concepts of paradigms of what is taking place, of soul, of life, death, and what have you. The time has come now for the scientists to begin to merge their research, to merge their concepts into a oneness. This oneness is more than what has been known as a holistic concept, because this particular oneness takes into account that area of knowledge that is outside of the traditional way of thinking. We wish to bring to the forefront the thought that the body is within the soul and not in the reverse order. We will be wishing to bring to the front the concept of the need for looking back at the what was called on your planet the Big Bang Theory, the concept of how the Earth was created and for what reasons, and to look and to establish that there is, without a doubt, a way of thinking, of thought form and thought travel that is universal and should be used. The needed objective at this point in time is to bring those individuals who are, as you would call, New Age thinkers out of their closets and into the forefront, because there are at this point in time too many groups, too many special interest groups, not necessarily on the right track, who are wreaking havoc and destruction on the Earth's planet. And these negative energies can have an adverse effect to all that the groups like you are trying to do. So what we would like to do would be to find a way to bring forth the information about this concept of universal knowledge and enlightenment, and to take away the old paradigms, specifically paradigms that have been founded in the field of psychology, which originally was for learning of the soul and study of the soul, and certainly not whatever it has gotten into today, but to look at the field of psychology, anthropology, as well as physics, and to merge these sciences so that one universal order and one universal science comes forth. We will pause now. Do you have questions?
Well, I think it's fascinating that you've been working with me this week, I guess, to develop my questions, because one whole page of my questions have to do with the Big Bang Theory and things that follow from that, and the concept of the universal mind and universal memory. So,
What a coincidence.
You've been here before today.
Yes, yes. Would you like to proceed with questions? Would you like for us to proceed?
Well, I guess I would like to have you proceed, and then I will try to fit my questions in wherever they're appropriate.
Very well. Let us begin with the concept of the Big Bang Theory. This is a theory that we have discussed at one point before, as we talked about how souls and everything spun off at the same rate, casting out and going out to become you and all of the entities around you. The point of the Big Bang Theory, and actually there must be other terms for that are better, that could be broken out and more easily defined. The whole point of the Big Bang Theory is that light reaches the Earth at the same intensity everywhere. There is much in science that would show that indeed the start of this particular galaxy and planet and civilization all began at once. If you were to go to your mathematicians and work through numerical forms, you would find that the numerical forms all resolve out to the same numerical numbers. There is much on the planet that can be pulled together and can show that the the energy, the God force, as you are accustomed to calling the universal force, did in fact create everything with one large explosion, one large ball of fire, one large star explosion, so to speak. And your consciousness rose out of that explosion, just as the technology and the equipment that you are working with, and that your consciousness, which you are using now, is the same consciousness that was alert and awake and alive back at the very beginning. And there is light that you are using now that comes from the 20 million so years ago when everything was created.
May I ask a clarifying question there?
Yes.
We usually in thinking about the Big Bang Theory are thinking about the creation of the physical universe, but you're saying that much more comes along with that.
This is correct. We're saying that with the Big Bang Theory, that is how the God force worked also to spread out the consciousness so that it could take place and move on down into what you are today. The God force consciousness was always there, but in creating the various souls and aspects of the God force, that particular consciousness came about at the same time of the Big Bang Theory.
Oh, that's a lot for us to think about here, and I'm trying to recognize the implications of
You
it.
may leave it and come back to with a question at a later point in time, if you wish.
All right. My questions that I had prepared were mostly around the concepts of the physical universe creation.
This is fine. You may proceed.
Um, the theory is usually opposed by a theory which says that there is continuous creation of matter in the universe, and that the physical bodies of the universe, the suns and stars and the stars and planets and moons, are continuously forming and disintegrating, so to speak. This you would then disagree with this latter concept?
This is so, because and there are scientists working on this today, this is not so surprising. There is a constant changing of that which is of the present matter, as we once gave the example of a tree in the forest, but that does not mean that it is being made out of nothing and taking place. And there are many scientists working with the quantum mechanics who are seeing that everything happened at one time and it's just a transformation, but not a total new recreation.
Yes. Another of the implication of Big Bang Theory, as I have understood it, is that matter was set into motion at the explosion, and that it continually moves apart. And we have a phenomenon called the red shift that is an indicator to them that the universe, parts of the universe, are continually accelerating away from each other. Is this part of what you understand also?
No, if you will go back and if the astronomers would get their concept in line with some of the physicists, they would see that it is a problem of perception and it is not what is actually taking place. There's a very evenness and centeredness to the entire universe. The concept of everything on schedule would apply to the universe in that there is no disparity between the total picture and what is actually going on. They are only seeing one small part. They are not looking at the total picture.
Then it's not so that we are continually accelerated away from other physical bodies in the universe.
This is correct. It is as it was at the beginning. It is a constant, and it is their own misconceptions and beliefs that have put them where they are. It is not like the belief that Columbus had to overcome when he was striving to sail around a world that was flat. The same is true with what is taking place with many astronomers today.
Well, it would seem then that, as you suggested earlier, that the Big Bang Theory is not a very good name for it because that suggests the explosion that does send things into the motion, so that a better term would be something else.
This is correct. We cannot give you a term at this point that we feel would be better. Possibly we will come through with a term we feel better that will be more appropriate. It was more like a fireball that spread out. That is our concept.
Is it appropriate then to think in terms of at one just before the event that all light was contained in that one fireball or whatever, and that is now what is spreading,
This is correct.
as well as all life forms that now in heaven are at least are part of the universe.
This is correct. But the universe is still so very unknown. We are giving you but one small penny out of a $20 bill to describe all that is going place. The universe is constantly changing, and we are constantly learning many, many things about the universe, even on this plane. When we take to look at it, it is not primarily our source of information because we are looking at ultimate truth. But we do feel that we need to bring the message that science needs to pull back and look again at exactly what has taken place. And actually, science is doing that. At some point, we will ask you to present your questions to us about time because we will be touching on an area of time and how it functions that also will be fitting in with those in physics. But we will not move to that particular question at this point. We want to make you aware that we will ask you to bring the information in question form back to us.
All right. Think about that. So that I'm still struggling with this concept, as you can see, the notion that what we might call the God force or the source or whatever, universal mind, whatever language we would use for that, made a decision to have these events occur.
Yes.
And is that with an overall purpose that we could understand?
There have been many purposes given as to why the God force would do such a thing. Perhaps the best answer to that is so that it can reflect back upon itself. This is not a concept that is easily understood, but without the planet Earth and all that is in it, and without the entities, the God force is not able to reflect back upon itself. And this, even to a God force, is important.
Yes, it's fascinating. We think of the development of human beings as ones of increasing consciousness or increasingly aware of self-aware and aware of their world. Is this at odds at all with what you say?
No, it is not. It is more humans are more and more on the path to just awakening to what they already knew. And as you are aware, there is only a small part of each individual's total consciousness there in the body. So there is much more outside the body that is totally conscious and aware and not having to awaken to that which it knows.
Yes, very good. I think we would like to draw this session to a close now, and take a little break and be back with you in an hour or so.
This is fine. Give us a moment, please.